Hello, I'm Conor. I'm an optometrist and I'm the owner of Jones & Co Styling Opticians in Manchester. And this video is about one of the most common problems people have with their vision at some point in their lives. And it is a change and a reduction in focusing power of the eye and the ability to read. Even to the point where it's a bit of a joke for some people not being able to read a menu in a restaurant, or a sensation that your arms aren't long enough and you have to hold things further and further away. So this really brings up varifocal lenses, which is a lens a lot of people have heard about but maybe don't know, are they good, are they bad, what can you expect with varifocal lenses. So we're going to talk about the truths and the myths about varifocal lenses. So first of all, how do you tell if you might need varifocal lenses? What are the telltale signs? Typically this will happen at some stage in your 40s where you might notice a slowness in the focusing of your eye. So if you go from reading something near you to looking in the distance, you can feel that ability to refocus at a different distance is slower. So that's something that people will notice. You can also notice just a difficulty reading, particularly in low light. As well as just a feeling of your eyes being tired and strained, especially at the end of the day. And then of course, as I mentioned, a lot of people will have this problem where you now have to hold things further away in order to be able to see it, or even make the font of whatever you're looking at larger just to be able to see it. So those are the kind of telltale signs that something is changing inside your eye. So let's look at exactly what is happening inside your eye. So here is a cross-section diagram of an eye. At the front here is the cornea. Then inside the eye you have the pupil, and behind the pupil you have this lens in your eye. And the lens really operates like a zoom lens on a camera. A zoom lens, if you think about it, it gets longer and shorter, and that's what allows it to refocus on different distances. Same thing with the lens in your eye. It can get longer and shorter and refocus and resize to focus on different distances. All that happens with time though is the fibers in the lens lose a bit of flexibility. So as time goes on, the amount that lens in your eye can change shape and refocus starts to reduce. And that's really going on all throughout life. When you're a child, you can see things kind of to the end of your nose, and gradually it's reducing, and then normally at some point in your 40s it suddenly hits your reading distance and you become aware of it. So the solution to this problem is a lens which gives you back that focusing power and focusing ability, and that's a varifocal lens. So let's talk about what exactly is a varifocal. First thing to say is that it looks like an ordinary lens. There aren't any lines or anything on your glasses. And the thing that a lot of people will have heard about varifocals is you might have heard stories of people trying varifocals and really struggling with them, feeling dizzy with them, having trouble going up and down stairs, looking through the different sections of the lens. And there's a reason why people have had problems in the past, which I'll explain in a moment. But the good news is, over 90%, well over 90% of our clients that come here to get varifocals wear them successfully and wear them happily. So when varifocals are done right and fitted correctly and fitted in an appropriate style of frame, then there's no reason why the vast majority of people can't wear varifocals happily. So this diagram shows the different designs of varifocal lenses. Varifocals have been around for years, and over those years the technology has changed quite a lot. With the modern varifocals, the way they work, the top section of the lens has your distance vision. So when you're looking straight ahead, your distance vision is nice and sharp and clear. As you look further down the lens, the power of the lens increases and gives you extra focusing power for reading at the bottom of the lens. And it's a natural lens to use because if you think about it, normally when you're looking in the distance, your head's up, you're looking straight ahead, so you're looking through the right part of the lens anyway. But when you're reading, your posture's, you're looking down and you're looking through the bottom of the lens anyway when you're reading, so you're looking through the right section of the lens. So it's quite a natural lens to use. The different designs mean that in these earlier basic versions of varifocals, which are still available, the power's changing throughout the lens as you look further down, and that creates some aberrations in the periphery. So you get a slight blurring effect in the periphery of the lens. And some people wore those varifocals very happily and still do. Other people found them restrictive, and when they were moving around they had this feeling of dizziness and just not getting on very well with them. So that was the original problem with varifocals. As the years have gone by, the manufacturers have been able to increase the width of the field of vision that you get. So with the most modern varifocals, you get a very wide field of vision all throughout the lens, so it means it's a totally different experience looking through that lens. It's much more comfortable. Even when you're moving around, all distances are clear and in focus. So with varifocals, I think what's important to make them work is there's three things. The first is the quality and the modern style of varifocal lens will make it a lot easier for you to be comfortable in them. And then the second thing is making sure the prescription that is going into the varifocal is accurate. And then the third thing is making sure that they're fitted with the right expertise in terms of the frame they're being fitted into, how the lens is measured, and just having a dispensing optician that takes you into consideration and your natural posture and how upright you stand, your natural head posture, all those things come into play. But as I said, when it's done right, there's no reason that most people cannot be very, very happy in a varifocal lens and the convenience that it gives to you. And the other thing to consider if you're wondering, will you personally get on well with varifocals, is first of all, for the vast majority, over 90%, when it's done right, the chances are highly likely that you will. But manufacturers, the people that make the varifocals, also know how much the lenses have improved over the years. So they offer a non-tolerance guarantee, which means if you do try the varifocals and for any reason don't feel comfortable in them, they will exchange and remake your lenses into a single vision or another type of lens. So at least you get to try them and experience what they're like. If there's any problems, they'll remake them into a different type of lens. So that takes some of the risk out of trying them. So if we can help in any way, if you have any more questions, just pick up the phone and one of my team will be happy to talk you through it.